Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go now on this finally Friday, of course, coasting right on into the weekend. We're going to talk about that weekend forecast over the next few minutes, but also talk about some rain chances that are looking a little more probable now as we get into parts of next week, potentially even some heavier rain on down the road. Again, details on that coming up. But again, this would be your Friday with another day of a lot of bright sunshine out there. We had a little morning cloud cover around. That's going to continue to essentially lift off. And again, as we go through the day, low to mid 80s, a breezy southerly wind will be in place as we go through the afternoon as well. This is where we started this the morning. These were your actual morning low temperatures, upper 50s, some lower to mid 60s. It was a very mild, kind of balmy, kind of humid start to the morning. Now, radar locally is completely quiet. In fact, as we zoom this out, maybe a day's drive from North Texas, again, everything looking completely quiet as well. In fact, we really have to give you here the national perspective to find anything going on. We have our next upper level storm system that's currently making landfall out on the west coast. If you remember earlier in the week, we were thinking maybe this storm system here would, well, eventually move through parts of North Texas for the weekend and give us an opportunity of rain. Well, as you know, that's all kind of fizzled out, and the details on that changed. This big, powerful upper level storm system, well, it's going to track well to the north of North Texas, so this will not necessarily be a weather player for us, but the jet stream out in the Pacific is active, and I tell you what, there is another storm system that's on the way as we get into, well, the middle part of next week, and the way it looks right now, the details on that are looking more and more favorable for rain. So going forward, here comes the weekend storm. Again, you can see it almost kind of shears into pieces. One smaller piece lifts off to the north. Again, essentially a non-player for us here in North Texas. But another piece of energy kind of stalls out in the desert southwest along with another Pacific storm system making landfall. This appears to really energize over the weekend. And then take a look at this as we get into parts of next week. Very slowly, it does begin to come out. And take a look at that. The opportunity of rain, potentially a couple waves of rain, maybe one hit of severe weather, details on that possibly coming together. And then the way it looks to me right now, the opportunity of heavier rain, maybe even some localized flooding concerns developing before it's all said and done. So this is over the next 7 days. This is essentially Wednesday and Thursday of next week, the way it looks right now. Some locations 1 to 2 inches of rain, but again, localized amounts as we go through really that 48-hour window of time. We could even see some 3, maybe some 4-inch amounts. Again, those would be a little more localized, but like I mentioned, the opportunity of even some flash flooding concerns may develop again by the middle part of next week. Otherwise, this is your weekend. What you see is what you get. A lot of bright sunshine out there, very quiet weather pattern. Again, a bit of a southerly breeze, a little windy from time to time, but again, nothing we can't handle. Now, the one thing is, with the warm temperatures out there, the southerly breeze, a lot of times you would begin to think, well, what about the fire danger? Is that not optimal conditioning for fire danger? And well, as we look at the fire danger chart here, I can tell you simply put, no. The main reason why the humidity on those southerly winds continues to come up, and with the increasing humidity, not that the fire danger is necessarily zero. I would definitely exercise fire safety if you are going to be doing anything outdoors or any kind of outdoor burning in some of our more rural hometowns. But the overall spread potential through the weekend, the good news is relatively low. So looking at least around the area for today, Friday, you can see a lot of low to mid 80s. Again, even a few locations out in our western counties like Breckenridge and Graham may even try and push 87 again later this afternoon. Friday evening plans, stepping out for dinner, drinks, Friday night football, whatever it is. Look at that. Temperatures through the 70s. Again, a very comfortable Friday evening, 50s. 60s. These are your overnight lows. That's how we'll start our Saturday. And then as we go through Saturday, another afternoon of a lot of bright sunshine, generally mid 80s around the area, a few locations out west. Again, Graham and the Breckenridge area, take a look at that. They may try and push 90 tomorrow afternoon. More 80s on the way even as we go through Sunday. So again, you get the point. The weekend really looking good for this time of year. So warm all the way through the weekend. In fact, warm into the early part of next week. Might even try and push 87 on Monday. And here comes that upper level storm system. Opportunity of rain, maybe some stronger storms, maybe some heavier rain. And then by the end of the following weekend, potentially another storm system inbound by that point in time as well. Temperatures do begin to trend down deeper into that 12-day.